Do you want to dread the units that you control? Do you want to have the misery of a unit that isn't working for you? Then I've got a deal for you. A whole group of neutral units in Cthulhu Wars that put together I call Traitors in our midst. And the concept, stick with me guys, don't hit next. This could be really cool, this could be fun. So it's possible to have a miserable game with Servitor of the Outer Gods, for example. This unit, you give it to somebody else, not you pay for it and then you say, here you go, happy birthday. But while that can be a miserable experience, what if there's a whole bunch of units? And the reason why I say it's a miserable experience is because it feels like you're the only one with this burden on your back. But when you have a lot of units that are all messing with things, I think it comes together and it becomes a situation where you're really challenging people's like map awareness. They can't ignore these units. They have to do something about them. And I think that can be cool. So the first of them, of course, is Servitor of the Outer Gods. These happy, singing, chanting little balls of goo that have figured out how to play flutes. I would just let that hang there for a moment. I just like them. I like the sculpt, it's fun. I don't know, for some reason, I mean, it's Cthulhu Wars, and when you see somebody happy, even if they're an amorphous, non-anthropomorphic thing, it makes me happy. We don't have a lot of happiness in this world anymore, it seems like. So some of it can be having little balls of goo that are happy and singing. So pay 2 doom to take this card, but do not keep it. Instead, hand it to another player who now has it for the rest of the game. Do not place a Servitor. One of the few units that you don't immediately put one out. Cost 1, combat -1. Adulation, ongoing. You may not summon any monsters except servitors, if any servitors are still in your pool. You may still place other monsters on the map via abilities or other means which are not the summon action. This ability is not optional. So, first of all, servitors are not, endlessly bad. In certain situations, you can sacrifice them. If Cthulhu needs to, for example, he can feed them to his Shaggoths. He will have to resummon them, but he's kind of used to like this cycle of summoning, resummoning, dying, resummoning, kind of thing. He's used to it. He can handle it. They are irritating, combat -1. You don't particularly care maybe if you're a faction that doesn't do a lot of combat. If you are a combat faction, obviously you want to give it to your threat. So if you're Cthulhu and you're facing Windwalker, then maybe one of you should give the servitors to the other player, right? Makes sense. Insects from Shaggai. Pay 2 doom to obtain this loyalty card, plus place an insect from Shaggai in any area. They like phase through your head to get inside your skull and then control your mind and your actions. They have the cost 2, combat 0. They have this ongoing ability called Mind Parasite. All acolyte cultists who are not on a gate share an area with an insect from Shaggai are controlled by you during the action phase. For only the following purposes. Only you can move them and they fight on your side in any battle. They do not benefit from any faction spellbooks. They can only be captured by you, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I did another video about them, or like look at the image. If you have a way to consume your units, like a Shaggoth, then insects from Shaggai are pretty cool. If moving them somewhere gives you an advantage, they're pretty cool. I think that insects from Shaggai generally are pretty cool. Obviously, you can move them off gates, things like that. It can benefit Sleeper because Sleeper goes later in the round, and so you can just move in and then take people away. Like Pied Piper kind of thing. Which is something you'd think the Servitors would be able to do with their flutes, but no. All right. The Prophetess. Pay 2 Doom to take this loyalty card, then place the Prophetess into any area on the map. Cost 2. However, once the Prophetess loyalty card is in play, any player can recruit her. She still has the faction which has this loyalty card. So isn't that interesting? So you, I guess, own her, but other people can recruit her into their areas if she dies. She has hierarchy. She generates 1 power during the gather power phase. She can be captured like any cultist and is recruited rather than summoned. It's an ongoing ability. She cannot create or control gates. She's a cultist, kind of a not very good cultist, but she has true vision. During the Doom phase, the player with the highest ranked unit in the area with the Prophetess can pay extra power. When performing a Ritual of Annihilation, that player gains 1 additional Elder Sign for every 3 additional power spent. Unit rank in order from lowest to highest, blah, blah, blah. Okay, somebody else can move in. Well, number 1, somebody else can recruit her because they want that ability, which is pretty amazing. 1 additional Elder Sign for every 3 power. If it's the last round and you're getting 16, 17 power, you're getting an additional 5 Elder Signs that last round. That's it. Game is over. 5 Elder Signs for most people, it's over. You're going to hit 30, ends, done. So I think that's really cool. It's a threat. You have to, in order to summon her, you have to think you're going to get the most power. So obviously factions that generally have more power are going to do better with this ability. I think it's super cool. If somebody else takes her, then if you have more power, you have more rank, you can just pull her away. If you have an ability to move her, like say Crawling Chaos, and somebody pains her or you pain her and you move her where your unit is just in time for you to end the game with true vision. Lots of cool, super cool stuff there. All right. Ugolinek, the only independent great old one in this cadre of not so great villains. I actually think that this guy looks happy too. Doesn't he look happy? I mean, like, I just feel like he's like waddles when he walks. I don't know. Yeah, it's very, very weird guy. I always find him to be a bizarre unit. Okay, so like all independent great old ones, you have to pay 2, and there you go. You pay 2. You place him in an area containing the gate. Combat 1. Okay, so far he's not the most amazing independent great old one. But that's kind of the thing here, right? He has combat 1 combat die. That's it, guys. But his Orifice's post-battle ability, that's what you want. If he dies, select a surviving enemy terror, monster, or cultist, replace it with Ugolinek, and then give the loyalty card to that player. So they kill Ugolinek with some, collection of units, and you say, oh, your guy just bloop turned into Ugolinek. Okay, now they have 1 combat die. Why would you do that? Well, the whole point is the revelations. So this does not come out automatically, by the way, guys. So when you summon Ugolinek, this spellbook is not out. It only comes out when you have received Ugolinek from you killing Ugolinek. During the Doom phase, the revelations, every player except you gets 1 Elder Sign. This is not optional. So this is a very interesting kind of mechanic. It's definitely difficult to know exactly when and where and how that this is going to be something you want to do. But in general, the player with the lead probably is doing better at combat. And if you can trick him into killing Ugolinek, then he might get it. And now everybody else is kind of playing catch up. So that's it. This is, I think, a very interesting collection of units that will do some weird things on the board. And that's what you want, right? You want to switch things up. You want to make it difficult for players to know exactly what they want to do. I will warn you, it is going to increase play times because people are going to have tough decisions on their hands. And I'm just curious, would you play with this collection, and what do you think? Is there some killer synergy combo that I'm missing that makes these more amazing than they are normally? With that, I'm going to drop it here. Bye, guys.